Hi everyone, it's Utilisées here, back for another review, and today we're gonna watch the chilling adventures of Sabrina, the teenage witch. And so I really wanted to watch that series because obviously I've been growing up whilst with like the previous series, so the Sabrina the teenage witch. I really wanted to see this, to see the comparison, and because it really appeared to be different, and then it made it obvious that it was going to be different, and I thought I really need to watch that. It looks very good, and I'm gonna spoil you a little bit. It looks awesome. It's really great. I really liked it, and I can't wait to watch season 2 because I'm pretty sure there has to be a season 2. To see like the transition of Sabrina from season 1 to season 2. That would be very interesting. And the review of today, we're just gonna review episode by episode, so I'm just gonna go through like all my notes and to say what I thought of like those little moments and the things that I like and the things that I didn't like, and like let's just jump into it, like and so episode 1, there's like something that I actually didn't quite understand, and throughout the episode I decided to really don't like it, is that the distortion of the blurred background that was overused, I think. And so like the character in the middle, the person in the middle was clear and in focus, and on the side that was just very blurry and distorted. And I just thought at first, maybe is it gonna represent Sabrina's decision, because she doesn't know if she has to choose the path of light or she's got to choose the path of darkness. And at first I was like, oh, that's interesting, the focus is great, but after a while I was like, oh my god, you just need to get rid of that, please do get rid of that for season 2. That's just too much. And yeah, that's a bit annoying after a while. The one-point focus, symmetry scene that I started to notice, because at first when they're like bury some I think there was a bird that enters in Sabrina's room like an omen, and she's burying it in the garden in the pet cemetery. I thought at first it was maybe my TV, but when I realized that it was not my TV at that scene. So yeah, if you notice like the distortion, like the background is a bit like blurred, that's not your TV, that's actually that was on focus, not off focus, on purpose. And something I wrote, praise Satan. I think it's like as obviously a region, which is the region of Satanism, and being an atheist, I was like, oh my god, almost like not throughout all the episode, but like for most of the episodes, like, oh, that's just too much for me. And like people just obeying not like their god like Satan, but like the priest and everyone without questioning what they're seeing, without making their own mind. I was just a bit, yeah, that's just not great. But I think that's something like an atheist, if you're atheist yourself, you might not like be, oh my god. But I mean, obviously, as in like it's just a saying, isn't it? But yeah, I gave myself, that's where I walk next, I gave myself to the Dark Lord, talking about virginity. She was keeping the virginity for the Dark Lord. I thought that was a bit weird, and obviously Satan in their church of night sounded, because of that. After that, I was like, that sounds more like a cult and not like a church at all. But I thought at the end it was like a good premise, a good very first episode, so a good pilot. And then for episode 2, I wrote again blurry distortion. That's just like, I thought I was starting to realize that it maybe gonna be a bit more than annoying. Witch hunter. I was wondering if there was gonna be a witch hunter, and you found out later there was actually a witch hunters, and that about the dark baptism of Sabrina, if she was going to be actually married to Satan, because there's, I can't remember what the actual myth is, or like the legend is, that there's a Satan wants like a mortal, and of course Sabrina is a half witch, so half witch, half mortal. If wants to mortal to marry one, like a young girl, which Sabrina is, a young woman, and to marry her. And I thought it was a bit like that, and she was to go up to a dark baptism, which a white dress, but she transformed in a black dress after. But I thought that's a white wedding dress from her mom. I was like, I think that might be a bit that might make sense later on in the season. I think I was right. And what did I write? Thunder after signing his book. I thought that was a bit too much. when the high priest asked Sabrina to sign his book, there was a turn. I was like, of course, there's thunder to mark, like, say, oh my god, the importance of what you're gonna happen, like the likeness, like, yeah, there was a bit too much. Room of Evil Dead. Oh yeah, it reminded me when Sabrina escaped. It reminded me of a scene in Evil Dead, a bit less bad, when like a lady's in the woods and like some trees, some branches just comes alive and try to catch her, and else in the Evil Dead, if you watch that movie. But obviously it didn't happen then because it's supposed to be a TV show for teenagers. I've got there's some moments later when I'm gonna say there's just maybe that was not for teenagers. That was just to say that it reminded me of that. And in a way, after that, when she escaped, somehow the a coven in a church became they kind of chase Sabrina. It looked more like a witch hunt and what they're trying to make not happen again with like the humans. But I thought it was a bit like a paradox for like the witches to become hunters themselves in a way. Episode 3 now. The 12 are broken promises. I think that when Sabrina was on trial, it's actually one of my favorite episodes of that season. When Sabrina was on trial for broken promises, I thought, yeah, there's definitely going to be something with her being in a relationship with Satan, not only as a god, but in a relationship that she's gonna marry, and promise of like a wedding when you engage yourself in marrying someone. The manifestation of the devil, when the devil manifests itself, that you call upon the lawyers and the high priest, and it's just like a lot of fire, and there's like a not like a cage, like something that happens with fire. It's like, yeah, that's another thing that's a bit too cliche, just like the thunder after signing this book. That's a bit too much. There's a lot of Riverdale influence, which obviously is obvious because one of the creators, or like one of the producers of Riverdale is also one of the creators or producers, I can't remember, of Sabrina, the cheating version of Sabrina. And there was like a little references, I think, and also Greendale, which is the city of Sabrina, is mentioned in Riverdale. And I can't remember in which season, I think it was season 2 or which episode, but I think it's when it was with Jughead, when he's in the car with someone, and like that someone, the driver, like an old man, said, oh yeah, there's always weird stuff happening in Greendale. I think obviously a series can't just develop it in like just like that. I think when this series, this episode was on, there was already talk and Sabrina was already in production, so I thought that was very nice because I like Riverdale, and Riverdale I think is good. There's some episodes that I really like, but I think there was maybe gonna be a crossover, an actual crossover, not just references in like each series. Like at some point Sabrina's gonna meet the teenagers of Riverdale, maybe. The name of, obviously, the name of the town, Riverdale, Greendale, so Dale in the town. And I think the Dark Lord looks an awful lot like the Gargoyle King of season 3. If you watch Riverdale season 3, yeah, there's a Gargoyle King, like a manifestation when Betty and Jughead are in the forest and trying to go to like the bunker, and it's like a gigantic thing that looks a bit very, very similar to the Dark Lord of Greendale. And I thought, oh, that's nice. That's very well done. I really like that. So hopefully, yeah, I hope there's going to be an episode where it's going to be an actual crossover. So that'd be cool. And what else? Oh yeah, the mention of the promise, I have said already. The ceremony, wedding, there was a bit, which is the baptism, there was to refer, the promise was to refer to the dark baptism. And that's something that I found a bit strange, was to say that the things such as unholy, dishonor, and disorder, it's like unholy for something that's very sacred for them, Church of Night people, to say holy, and this sort of like order in the court, yes, piece of stuff like that. It was a bit paradoxal, I guess. Another book, another time, when the lawyer of Sabrina tells her a story and says to her basically that he made a pact, a deal with the devil. He says he had to sign his name in the book, and he says, I had to sign my name or something like that. I had to sign my name in a book. That was like, but that was a book, another time, so like another time it's like an era. And what it got me thinking is it a reference to one of Stephen King's novella? I can't remember which one, actual novel, but I do remember that Stephen King wrote something very similar with people signing their name in a book or making a deal with the devil in exchange of something, and then it's like dogs that comes to get them and get their soul. So I was like, is it a reference? I think there's a lot of reference in that TV series of Sabrina, the new one. And I thought it was like nice, and unless you read that book, unless you didn't read that book, we don't know. But yeah, I thought I really liked that. If it's actual reference to Stephen King, well done, people of Stitching Adventures of Sabrina. And something, yeah, I'm wondering, it says, what is it with harsh and strong people and smoking? I think that's something that kind of annoys me about Auntie Zelda, is that she looks cool, and she's got very like a nice pose, and she's got like a presence of certain elegance to her. But I think it's like something with like a smoking. She was like this. I thought that was a bit much. Maybe, yeah, with the smoking, that's something I really didn't like. Not because I'm not a smoker, but I think that was a bit too much. I mean, I was a smoker once upon a time, I'm not anymore, but anyway. But yeah, I thought that was maybe not necessary to portray her a lot of time with that cigarette thingy in her finger. And I think that's something I found very interesting in episode 3 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is the appearance of Harvey's dad. Who's a very, very bad man. He's very mean, he's very abusive to his show, not only Harvey, but also his older brother, his oldest son. I found very interesting that when Harvey's dad appeared on screen, so he's like in the door, not in the door, like in the door frame, and he's like lower half, like knee to feet, or like it's clear, and then like upper you get the darker it is. I thought, is it because at first you don't really see the Dark Lord, and because who's like the evil of the whole evil, and I thought, is it to reference to the darkness and the evilness of the father that they don't show the Harvey's father's face straight away? And I thought that it was very interesting and a very clever way, because you hear his voice, you don't see his face, but you hear his voice, and you have a very harsh voice, and that's kind of a bit scary. And I thought maybe because the scariness of hearing a voice without not knowing where it's coming from, I thought it was a bit nicely done, a reference to the Dark Lord, who's actually Satan. Yes, so I think now we're on to episode 4 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I didn't write much. I did draw a lot for episode 3, I think another episode of them, I think only wrote like a lot of stuff from really like the episode, but I did like episode 4, but I just didn't write much. And I thought one of the things I wrote is that Nicholas Scage or whatever his name is, Scratch. Nicholas Scratch has an obvious trouble. He's got a troublemaker. He's got obviously dark hair. He's part of the Church of the Nile, which is like the guy who's attracted by Sabrina, but she's got a boyfriend, and there's that kind of trouble man, like the kind of person your parents or your friends said, no, don't go out with him, he's trouble, that kind of person. I thought that was a bit fun. And I wrote again about the distortion, and I was wondering at first, maybe is it gonna, because it's not like throughout the episode, it's like only doing some scenes, and I thought, is it only doing magic spells and like really pressuring moments when people are like drawn into their thinking because of darkness and magic, but I thought that was just mainly because it's very annoying. Something that's not very annoying, that's kind of awesome and excellent, is Michelle Gomez's performance. Here's Michelle Gomez, you might know as Missy or Doctor Who Mistress from Doctor Who. I was actually surprised to see her in that TV series, but I thought she was really great. She's as that character, she's just awesome. I really like her in that series, and I hope we see. I think we're probably gonna see more of her in season 2 if there's a season 2. And it should be a season 2, but yeah, I really liked her. And now we're on to episode 5. And episode 5, there was just not, yeah, I wrote literally just a line about it, because I was like, huh? What? what's the purpose of that episode? So the episode was with a demon that Sabrina released from like a trap puzzle piece thingy, and the demon is the like a nightmare demon, and I thought that was a bit this episode I really didn't like, and I thought at first I didn't realize at first, but I think the nightmare demon, Bat, I think that was the name, actually, because something I found weird is like how the demon is able to torture the spellman if she was already in prison in like in the jar, and I think that's because she started a process of torturing and being a demon and nightmarish stuff when she actually at some point she's like on the stairs and she points towards the music player and she turns on the music player, and I think because you hear the music in the nightmares, and I think that's how she started everything, because before she actually was in prison in a way, or make the spellman thought she was in prison but it was actually them being asleep. But yeah, overall I was like, oh, maybe it happened before, maybe I was trapped as well and like tricked like the experiment were. But yeah, for overall episode 5, nah, why? Yeah, I just didn't understand that thing. And something, the reason why she tried to solve that puzzle was so she can go to the IP and say, hey, I solved the puzzle, now teach me necromancy and conjuring. No, that wasn't conjuring. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, episode 5. Episode 6 was a bit better, I think. Something I found it nice is not a reference not to Stephen King, but like just to the reference of the paranormal and all the myth and legend of witches and satanism and darkness and that kind of stuff, and wizardry and witchcraft. Was the director of the academy, the high priest, who is also happened to be the director of the academy. His first name, at first they call him only by his surname, but starting in episode 6 they start calling him, well, some people start calling him by his first name. His first name is Faustus. And I think I only noticed this because at uni we are learning about Faustus of Christopher Marlowe, so about the play, and the character Faustus is a character, a man who made a deal with the devil in exchange of so the devil gets his soul in exchange of 24 hours of power, and one of the dreams of Faustus was to have a lot of power, was able to do like stuff, conjuring like demons, just like they're doing in and other things than demons, just like they're doing in the Adventure of Sabrina. But also one of his biggest dreams was to be able to be like an expert or like top notch in necromancy. And I thought, oh, that's nice and clever. I like that. Yeah, I thought that was very, very nice. One of the characters named Faustus, because in a way, and everyone in the Church of Nine made a deal with the devil, and they made a deal of not eternal with something they're all gonna die, but like a lot of power, centuries and centuries of youth, and you get powers not just because you're powerful, but because you've got like powers like such as telekinesis, summoning on like demons and other witches and kind of stuff. So all made a deal with the devil, and I thought that was nice to have like a little reference to the mortal world by having one of the characters named Faustus, and I thought, yeah, that was great. And I think there was maybe a little it was a reference to the first TV series of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, when Zelda mentioned that Sabrina is just a teenage witch because of her behavior. And I thought, oh, that if this was on purpose, I thought that was nice to just try and put as many references, but they're not that obvious maybe in the TV series. So I like them references not just because of Faustus, but also the Teenage Witch. And the song at the end, I thought first, is that the same as in Vikings, the TV series? So the song that appears at that comes up at the end of this episode was the opening theme songs of Vikings. And I thought after episode 7, I think maybe that was on purpose. It's something to like a thread from like one episode, and good nice transition from one episode to the other. Because the other in episode 7, there's a mention of Freya, which is, if I remember correctly, mentioned a lot throughout Vikings, the TV series. but because Freya is a Viking goddess, and so I think maybe it was just to make a nice transition to that, or like a reference to her. And I think I was starting to wonder, another thing I wrote after the song came up, I thought, is Sabrina the reason why the Dark Lord wants for Sabrina to sign so much his book? Is it because he's got some sort of weird design for her? Is she gonna be the bringer of the apocalypse? And I think there's something like that. Yeah, she's gonna be something like that. Maybe season 2 or something. And so yeah, episode 7. So yeah, I think it was just to make a reference to like what was gonna happen, what might be happening in episode 7, because Freya was, besides being the Viking goddess, Freya was in the series. She's the witch who sacrificed herself in a time of famine, I think that's how you say it, in order so her coven don't starve to death, and so she sacrificed herself and the other eats her. And because of that, because of the sacrifice she made, she became like a very worshipped person, because she saved the witches, and which is something very loved and talked about in episode 7. Something that bugged me throughout Sabrina is how women are treated. So there are like a lot of strong, powerful women, but some of the things that's like, that's just no. Just why? One of the things was the Feast of Feasts, the sacrifice, or like the queen of the feast. It's only women that are like understand to be sacrificed. I haven't seen any man. I don't think there have ever been any man to be sacrificed to be the queen of feasts, obviously. But why not a king of feasts? I don't know. That's just a bit much. I think maybe that was just, maybe not on purpose sexist. I don't know, but. Yeah, that's just because there's like other nice things in that TV series that are a bit inclusive, but like the character of Susie, the character of Ambrose, and oh my god, the character of Ambrose, there's something I'm going to talk about later on, but the character of Ambrose and Luke, their relationship is just, I like that. But yeah, that's just, I think that the Feast of the Feast got me thinking, just reading my notes, that got me thinking of another, I think it's just the purpose of questioning everything, like Sabrina points out to the high priest, that maybe Freya was right and maybe not right, but maybe what Freya did was good for bad for good, because she allowed other witches to survive, but because people were starving, and the reason why the high priest brought that back was just to worship, because it's the will of the Dark Lord for some reason, or maybe it was not, but she said that no one is starving anymore, so why are we still doing this? So she questions. So something I like about Sabrina is that she questions everything, basically. And yeah, I think it's something got me not thinking about a religion, but not only, but got me thinking of the Second Amendment in the US. And I know some people in the US, actually the US citizens, share this opinion that why do we still have the Second Amendment, or why don't we have gun control? Because Second Amendment was created and written at a time when it was needed, and it's not actually needed. Maybe yes, people need to defend themselves and be able to defend themselves and the family and the loved ones, but the Second Amendment, the reason why the Second Amendment was written, is not valid anymore nowadays in the 21st century. It's just a question of lobby and money, of course, isn't it? But yeah, I thought that was back to the Feast of Feasts. I thought that was nice, and just to make you think of make you question like people in position of power, but also question religion. And I wrote religion equals nope, 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 definitely not gonna be any religion. I'm so happy as an atheist, because it's obviously, it's like a Church of Light, it's like a mirror version of the Church of Light, kind of, so like what they call the false god and gods, like Christianism, Church of Night. I think it's like a nice parallel between the two, a nice demonstration of how each religion are like different but also similar in a way, because they're worshipping a god and they're believing people and they're believing writing and they're believing their interpretation rather than the actual word of God. And so yeah, I found it very interesting in the sort of a philosophical point of view, I guess. Oh yeah, I think I think another reference, talking about the parallel between the two origins. I think there was another reference, like Hegel might have picked up on Christianism. So when they have to burn pieces of paper to know if they're going to be chosen to be the sacrifice, and if you're chosen, the smoke comes out white instead of red or darkish color. I think that was might have been a reference to the Pope. So when the Pope dies, when the Pope is elected, because yes, the Pope is elected, if the whoever is electing the Pope is not sure, they like burn piece of paper to let people know they're not they haven't come to a conclusion. And the smoke that comes out is black. And once the Pope is chosen, once the Pope has been unanimously elected, the smoke that comes out is white. And that's why there's so many people outside the St. Peter's Church, just so they can see which color the smoke is going to come out and who's going to be the Pope. I thought that was a bit of reference to that, and I thought that was a nice way to have a chosen sacrifice person. I can't speak today. That's okay. Something, yes, so the thing that made me question, is this really a show for teenagers? Not because there's like, I think that was in the first episode when Sabrina comes out of the bath and she's always naked, you kind of see a breast, and it's like, that's just, she's supposed to be a minor, she's supposed to be underage. That's just not okay. And there's something I've got a bit of trouble with about Riverdale, is that they're all supposed to be minors, and it's obviously okay because nowadays, and like everyone, even teenagers, even if it's not just nowadays, they obviously have a sexuality, so it's good that people talk about it. But when it's like over the top, and I think when it's just like showed a bit too much, I think it's just a bit too much, simply. And something I thought that was way too much was the orgy in episode 7. It's like all them people, they might be witches, but their embodiment, their body and their outside is the one of a underage person, and that's just not okay to be in a teenager show, a show for teenagers, if it's actually a show for teenagers. It was like, maybe not. And something that I found very surprising is that Harvey is a witch hunter. I thought, actually question, is Harvey a witch hunter? I thought that was a bit interesting to have like the half witch with a witch hunter. I really like that. What else? Oh yeah, something just to put the emphasis on questioning everything, questioning what people say, rather than they actually totally question the report of someone who says who's got like direct communication with the dark hole. Just question if when he's reporting to his church is his own interpretation, if it's actually the will of the gods, basically. So don't do what you're told, make your own mind on and question everything. So it's not just about religion, it's just about everything, question everything. That's like one of my mottos. But it's something that's brought in the episode, is something that we really liked about that episode, is which is one of my favorite, by the way, is that it says, implies all that you should question everything, you should question the people in power, but you should do so in religion. When it comes with aspect of religion, is that you should do that, but with whilst respecting each other's opinion and belief. And something that was brought up by what was the name, Prudence, which might be a reference to Charmed, I don't know. But when she says, "Faith, is your faith more valid than mine?" And she said, "Are you saying this because you think that about Sabrina, that your faith is more valid than mine? So I'm to believe you, but you're not believing me. I'm to respect your belief, but you're not respecting mine." I thought that was very nice. That it was put in this, so we should question everything, have our own opinion, but not try and force our opinion to others. Very strongly, that is. Is something I found interesting is that a friend that made me think actually of the Vampire Diaries. So that a friend, what's the friend's name? Jazz, I think that's her name. That maybe Sabrina's family was responsible for the blindness of the Walker's family, and that a friend, I thought maybe that will be interesting after a few episodes, that is Sabrina gonna have to choose between a side of the family and the friends, with obviously having a witch hunter as a friend and a friend who might want to seek vengeance for a family, and I thought that was nice because like Sabrina is tormented between two choices. She's gonna have to choose between Church of Night and Mortal Life, and I thought that was a nice way to do that. And now episode 8, we've got I think 3 more episodes, so episode 8, 9 and 10. And episode 8, something that that was pretty obvious but that was very clever done, obviously. That was that the death of Tommy would obviously bring Sabrina closer to the path that Satan has chosen for her. So because Sabrina is very loving, she wants to protect her friend and she wants to protect the ones she loves, and by seeking not vengeance, well, in a way vengeance, because she's gonna kill one of her classmates who's actually used a voodoo doll to seek vengeance on Tommy's and Harvey, because their families are witch hunter and they killed a familiar in the woods. And she's gonna try and fix that because Harvey's brother is like a father to him, and obviously they loves him very, very much, and she's gonna try and resurrect him. And by doing so, because necromancy is such a dark magic, it's like one of the worst, and by choosing to do that and then actually doing it, she's sliding a bit further into the darkness and therefore into the Satan's path of way of things. I like how the reverse psychology was used by Miss Bardwell on having Sabrina to do stuff throughout the episode, but specifically into the episodes like, no, don't practice necromancy, it's dangerous, it might not work, blah blah blah. But it was obviously that Sabrina's going to do it, and maybe I think actually that Sabrina was going to do it, and that the sacrifice, because when it comes to necromancy, because there's a balance, you need to choose, also they say in the TV series, you need to choose in order to bring someone back from the dead, you need to sacrifice someone. So you need to give what Mrs. Wallace said, an eye for an eye, a life for life. So you want someone to bring back to life, but you need to kill someone one another for that someone to come back to life. But that's why I thought that because Harvey's dad is so evil and so mean and so abusive, I thought that Sabrina was going to just seek vengeance in a way and just kill the dad, but no, she ended up calling the person who actually caused the mines to collapse, because the mines have collapsed and Tommy and other miners were trapped in the mines and got killed because of that. But in this, something I've started thinking throughout the series, that Sabrina is a bit annoying of a witch. She's a bit like a bit of a know-it-all, a little bit, but a bit also naive. She's got that naive attitude, and something obviously as a viewer and as a spectator, you pick up on those things, like you pick up on Sabrina being naive, but you pick up on why she's being naive, because Miss Broadway is she's obviously not what she's saying she is. She said, oh no, I'm not just Mrs. Wardwell, I'm a witch, I've been like a mission by your father to protect you, blah blah blah. It's like, first red flag, that's just weird. And that's just, even though like the auntie said, that sounds like so much like Edward, like your father, but when especially in that episode, I was starting to think like it's so obvious that Miss Wawa is not a good witch, she's bad, and she's bad for you. When she said, oh, about necromancy, you might have knowledge, it's okay to have knowledge on like necromancy, but why you have all the books, and why do you have that one book that's gonna allow you, but not only you, but other people, to bring people back to you from the dead. So it's just, yeah, I found it very odd, and that's something that should have made Sabrina wonder, and it'd be like a little light bulb being like ding 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 ding, and that's just how. And she said, oh, not to do it, but then she knows all this, so she's got all these tools too, and she's got not only the book, but she's also got the incantation to bring someone back to life. So I thought that Sabrina should have known better. Seriously. Sorry. Episode 9 is one episode I was like, oh, nah. That was just and I wrote talk about obvious, and that was just, this episode was just too obvious for me. Agatha and Tommy, that was just it was just too obvious, and because Sabrina, by bringing what she's done, was that she wants to bring Tommy's back to life by killing Agatha, who's the one of the witches who done the mine collapsing. But so she killed her, and then she buries her in a special part of a garden, and which bring witches back to life. But by doing this, Sabrina Shefter was like, oh no, it's okay, she's gonna die, her spirit's gonna leave her body, it's gonna, and then Tommy's gonna be able to come back to life. But the body did come back to life when the witch was buried. But by bringing the witches back, the sacrifice was no longer dead. So Tommy, there was obviously gonna be a problem there. It's like it might have worked for a few seconds when the witch was actually dead. But by bringing the witch back, she just canceled kind of everything. So, and that was mentioned, like, Sabrina, of course, the witch is no longer dead, so obviously there needs some balance to be rebalanced. And yeah, that was just too obvious. I mean, that was just like, yeah. Oh yes, that's later when I said about a bit earlier on when I talk about Ambrose and Luke, their relationship, it's something I really like about that TV series, that they were not shy in showing two gay men just going at it. And that was just usually it's more with like women, because for some reason in today's society, and just a few years before, lesbian were more okay, and people were more okay with seeing two lesbians going at it in a movie. And now I think, and I hope it's gonna keep going, stuff are going to happen. They're not really going at it like it's a porn, yeah. But like you see them like kissing proper, you see them like intercrossing, and you see them like a scene in there. You see them just like half naked in a like on a couchy thing, and well, not like they've got clothes on, but it's like you see like very sexy scene, when usually in TV series, in movies, usually like the person who's on the sofa is like laying down, is like the woman, and the person on top is the man, and there's just so there's like, I'm so glad this scene was in that series because it's fun really with seeing stuff like this, and that was a bad goddamn time. Something note is actually the only 3 things I wrote about episode 9, so like talk about obvious. All of the episode was just too obvious, and that maybe should not happen. But now onto the last episode 10 of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Something that really got to me, and after a while I was just talking about the distortion of the blurry background after a while, even though I was kept on being annoyed by it until the very end, and I hope they do not bring this back for season 2. But something I found very annoying is that the endless repetition of, not the repetition of the witching hour, but the explanation of what witching hour is. We know, like, a lot of people know it, and because if you watch from episode 1 to 10, you already know, even if you didn't know before, now you know that witching hour is midnight. So why the hell are they saying again and again, oh yeah, witching hour, so come by midnight? So like, we know already, you've told your spectator what witching hour is. You don't need to tell everyone again and again in each goddamn episode. Something that really bugged me. It's just like at some, that thing is just like, are you taking your spectators for idiots? We're not idiots, it's just people watching a TV show, so don't cross us. Something I don't really understand about Dorothea, so like the one of the ancestors of Susie, it's that was she a spirit? Was she a ghost? Was Susie like similarly a witch? At first I thought maybe Dorothea is like some sort of witch hunter, but I thought, was she human, or how is Susie able to see Dorothea? It was a bit, I mean, with Jazz, or Miss Walker, I'm gonna call her because that's her surname. Her family's got powers, so it's a bit more understandable that she's able to see things, and the cunning, as they call it. But how is she able to see and talk to her ancestor? How is that? Is it going to be developed in the season 2 in other series? Maybe if there's gonna be other series, but yeah, something I really didn't understand. Something, yeah, that I found that's just reinforcement of what I told about episode 7, I think it was. Yes, it's just, and actually mentioned, implied in that episode, is that talking about the emergency meeting called by the high priest, Faustus, is that he's interpreting what's happening, like the storm and like the witches coming back and like the Death Reaper rider person coming as the word of God and the word of Satan. The people actually, no, that's not what actually happened. That's you saying that's the word of Satan. That's not Satan telling you and telling us that it is what, and that's what's going to happen. That's what we should do. So yeah, it's just me thinking of, obviously it's because of my own belief, but thinking that a lot of things and lots of things in general, but a lot of things with religion is just people's interpretation of some words of some religion rather than the religion or words in themselves, if you believe such things. Something that I found a bit nice and actually I quite liked. At first I was like, why is it blue? But then I was like, oh yeah, of course. It was the hellfire when Sabrina brought hellfire upon the 13 witches. Like, of course it's blue because the blue part of a flame is the hottest one. If you didn't know that by until now, it is actually the hottest one for some reason. I thought it's just like, when I learned about that, I was like, really? Because blue, like yellow and orange are like one color, and when you put, obviously if you put an yellow on it, you get burned. It is hot, but how something like a cool color is going to be hotter, I don't know the specific of it, I just know that is the case. And that's why the hellfire is blue. So if you were wondering when say the fire, what the fire was not like yellow, orangey, red-ish color, one color, is because the blue part of the flame is the hottest, and we've seen hell, you're burning. I mean, from a Christianism point of view, in hell, that the fire, the flames of hell are like super hot, like the hottest flame of all. So obviously, it's that's why the hellfire was blue. And I think about the name thing, I really hope till the end that Sabrina will not do it, that she was, because she has like flashback of like previous stuff that happened throughout the series. I think she was not going to do it, but I thought after that I was like, yeah, she really had to sign a name in it, and so that we can have a season 2. And I can't wait for season 2. I hope you did stick around. I know this review was going to be long. If you did stick around, thank you very much. I wanted to, at first, you just like doing for 31 Days of Fire, just like a very quick review of it, but I thought it might be a bit more interesting to just dissect in a way each episode and do like the overall review of the scene. The overall review of the series is that it's a good one that you should watch, and that is dark, and I like that it's a darker seeing something that you might have kind of mentioned whilst reviewing Goosebumps 2 is that I like that it's dark and not just very teenagey and very light and just a bit too comedy horror-y. Kind of, I like horror comedy, but when I like it better obviously when it's proper horror and proper dark. I like that it's a dark TV series, and yeah, I can't wait for season 2. And I'm glad that it's actually a remake that's way different. Has obviously like touches and things that they've taken, like the characters and like things from like the previous TV series, but I like this kind of like a remake, but kind of in a way it's a TV series on its own, and that's just something completely different. I really like that it's different and dark, and I can't wait for season 2. And like I was starting to say, if you watch this review until now, thank you very much. If you came back on this channel, thank you very much. Just stick around. If you're new on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for being new on the channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you want. And if you watch the TV series and all together, or even if you just watch a few episodes, if you just watch the trailer, tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think of that review in the comments. And tell me what you think of the TV series, so we can have a little debate on Adventure of Sabrina. And I will see you next time for another review, horror review. Bye!